Hi, this is Pat Clay. I've made this narrated PowerPoint presentation on controlled breathing for nursing students to use for themselves because they are under a great deal of stress and to teach their patients. What is controlled breathing? Controlled breathing is intentional control over breathing during both inhalation and exhalation. Breathing is automatic, but intentional controlled breathing is practiced for brief periods of time. Other names used for controlled breathing are diaphragmatic breathing, abdominal breathing, deep breathing, pursed lip breathing. Controlled breathing can be done inconspicuously. It is not a forced effort resulting in an overinflation of the lungs. It's a natural and comfortable process. It can be learned and used at will for optimal benefit. Controlled breathing is breathing with awareness, with the goal being to establish a steady and effective breathing pattern. As you know, effective respiration relies on the ability of the alveoli to exchange CO2 for oxygen. Shallow or obstructive breathing patterns resulting in incomplete aeration of the alveoli will lead to CO2 retention and lower oxygen levels. Original research published in Frontiers in Psychology in June of 2017 by Chow, Ma, et al. Illustrates the potential for diaphragmatic breathing. Remember that this can be the same as controlled breathing. Practice to improve cognitive performance and reduce negative subject and physiological consequences of stress in healthy adults. Anne Brutton et al. In their article published in the Lancet Respiratory Medicine Journal in 2018, Physiotherapy Breathing Retraining for Asthma, a randomized controlled trial, states, despite effective pharmacotherapy, asthma continues to impair quality of life for most patients. Non-pharmaceutical approaches, including breathing retraining, are therefore of great interest to patients. However, clinicians rarely advocate breathing retraining, and access to this intervention is restricted for most patients due to the limited availability of suitable physiotherapists and poor integration of breathing retraining into standard care. We aim to assess the effectiveness of a digital self-guided breathing retraining intervention. Another statement in the article says the exercises comprised an illustration of and training in diaphragmatic breathing, nasal breathing, slow breathing, controlled breath holds, and simple relaxation exercises. So basically they researched how controlled breathing could help to create a breathing retraining for asthma patients. Who can practice controlled breathing? Well, anyone that has the cognitive and physical ability to control their breathing. Controlled breathing can be helpful for teachers who are experiencing stressful moments while dealing with their students or parents. Controlled breathing may be helpful for anyone experiencing a mild asthma attack or during an asthma attack after receiving treatment, such as a rescue inhaler. Controlled breathing may be helpful for anyone experiencing stress of any kind. How do I control my breathing? Well, positioning. Sit or stand comfortably with arms gently crossed over the upper abdomen. Alternatively, you can take a less obvious stance with one arm across the abdomen. First, you have inhalation. Inhale through your nose in a way so that you see your arms lift slightly. This is abdominal breathing. Try counting to yourself slowly to 4 or whatever number feels natural for you. Do not force air past what is comfortable. This should feel very natural. During exhalation, you exhale slowly through your mouth as you slowly count to 4 or 6. Choose a number that feels natural. Usually, exhalation lasts a little longer than inhalation. People who have COPD or are experiencing asthma may benefit from pursed lip exhalation. That causes the lungs to open up more as air force builds up behind the exhalation. Technically, the term is positive expiratory end pressure, or PEEP. That leads to a greater pressure in the alveoli, causing them to open. This is a benefit for a person experiencing obstructive airway issues, as it will help ventilate the deepest part of the lungs. For children, have a child lie down. Place a small stuffed animal or small light pillow on the child's upper abdomen. Tell the child to breathe in air through their nose in a controlled way so that the stuffed animal or pillow very slightly rises as they fill their lungs with air. Concentrating on moving the animal a tiny bit may help the child to control their breathing. Again, this is not an excessive intake of air to overinflate the lungs. Then have the child breathe out, causing the animal or pillow to gently lower. Have the child concentrate on the movement of the animal or pillow as it should be slight and not overly exaggerated. Fun ways to control breathing also are blowing bubbles and blowing on a dandelion seed pod. How long do I practice controlled breathing? Controlled breathing sessions can last for a few breaths or for a few minutes. No need to overdo this technique. As the technique of controlled breathing is practiced, it may become second nature and utilized automatically in times of stress or when needed. What are the benefits of controlled breathing? There are so many benefits for practicing controlled breathing. Many articles are written and available on the internet and in books about the practice of controlled breathing. Although controlled breathing may be used during meditation, it can be practiced apart from any cultural or religious purpose. Controlled breathing has been found to sharpen focus as you become more aware of your body and surroundings during a controlled breathing session. As controlled breathing manages stress, cortisol levels may decrease, according to Chow Ma et al. 2017. Here are the references. Have fun learning controlled breathing. Practice it on a regular basis and you'll see a difference.